Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be showing off the brand new dinosaur stuff. The dinosaur stuff really leads up to an unfair card that you can search out with, which is basically like a floodgate. It kind of locks your opponent out of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So what are the new combos with the deck? So Xeno Meteorus is a really easy card to summon. All you gotta do is pop something via destroyed by battle or card effect. Which in dinosaurs, I mean, you have so many cards to pop via card effects. You can just summon this card for free, and then you get to pop another monster, which is always the baby Ceratosaurus, because this effect is not a once per turn, so you basically just loop the baby. But basically what you do with it is you pop the baby to bring out something else, and you get out a Frostosaurus. Now Frostosaurus, I don't know, it's a vanilla card, but at least you can special summon that card from the hand or deck. It's any dinosaur normal monster. I really wish it was hand, deck, or graveyard, so you can just play one copy of it, but basically all you need is one copy anyways, unless you of course recycle it. Now, in addition to that, this card is actually a tuner and it's level 6, so it really allows dinosaurs to actually go into synchro plays, which is pretty cool. The only time I think we really saw like big synchro plays was like Giant Bara, and then in addition to that, there was also options previously where some people would make like the Savage Dragon. Anyways, this is another newer card. I'm going to go over the effects really quick. So Cadoptera over here makes it so if your opponent controls 2 or more non-wind monsters, they cannot target this card for attack, so it's kind of worthless for that effect. It's the effect of you can only use each effect once per turn. So during your main phase, you get to just add a polymerization from your deck to your hand, and if it's banished, you can special summon it, just like the Giant Rex. And then you get to add a polymerization from your graveyard to your hand. So it basically gets you out 2 polymerizations, which is actually pretty important. Now, there's another card that we got to see in the very, very beginning. It's just a searcher. All it does is it adds a dinosaur tuner or a normal dinosaur monster. And then you destroy 1 card in your hand. So literally what you do is you just search out your Xeno Meteorus over here, and on top of that, you're able to then destroy a card in your hand, which is obviously any of the babies or anything that would get some bonus effect, or if you just need to dump a card into the grave so you can special summon the Meteors, and then you have more targets for your Miscellaneousaurus to actually banish, so you can go for level 2s if you want to go ahead and do that. But then on top of that, you can banish this card from your graveyard to fusion summon a dinosaur fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. So those are the core new cards. Now, there's another brand new fusion dinosaur called the Hornosaurus. So it requires Cadoptera, which is one of the newer cards, that wind one, and then a dinosaur or a dragon monster, which works well with any of the like Solda, Evolsar monsters that are basically lingering, and they are still considered a dragon monster, even though I use dinosaurs to make them. Anyways, so this card can attack directly for 2,000, and on top of that, once per turn, if this card is fusion summoned, you get to place a field spell from your deck or graveyard face up in your field zone. This is the broken effect over here. So obviously, if you play dinosaurs, you probably already know what's going to be happening. But I told you guys, there is going to be something that's actually super OP, which you're about to see. So the most important thing is also this brand new boss monster for the Evolsaurs. This is Evolsar Raz. So it requires 2 level 6, so it does work well with the vanilla and Meteorus. So you can also make Solda, that's another great option, but it has the ability, when your opponent activates a card or effect, as a quick effect, you detach 2 materials from this card, target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, and negate its effects until the end of this turn. It doesn't destroy though, that's important. And then if all materials attached to this are reptile and or dinosaur monsters, you get to activate this effect by detaching 1 material instead of 2. So basically what it comes down to is it gets 2 negates. The first negate, because everything is going to be the correct requirements, only makes you detach 1. But remember, the bonus part of the effect potentially later, I really haven't seen anyone equip stuff with it, but you get the other ability to negate 1 more time. I don't know if, again, there's going to be people that try to like attach materials to it, but basically it comes down to a 2 negation effect. But that is that card. And then Scrap Wyvern, Scrap Raptor, these are kind of cards that we've already seen before. This is the deck that we got the highest rank in Master Duel with. So now we see the Evo Pill going to be banishing this card instead of Giant Rex over here. And then we have Conductor Tyranno going for another Poly. And then you make Hornosaurus. So you can go for Lost World. But Summon Breaker is actually the card that you want to go for. This is what makes it unfair. So if you guys haven't seen this card, it basically is activated and your opponent is really in a bad situation. So what does this card do? It's during the main phase 1, if the turn player successfully conducts their 3rd summon of a monster this turn, becomes the end phase. That is really important. It's not even special summon, so once they go for their normal, they can only go for 1 more summon, because on that 3rd summon, they just lose their turn. So basically, they only get really 1 special summon. They get 1 normal and 1 special, or I guess 2 specials, because on the 3rd one, they're not going to be playing. Okay, so you guys seen the deck go first. What happens if it goes second? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Maybe. but not today. Let's go ahead and see him summon Raptor and basically end his turn on that. So in this circumstance, not really too many options, so it's basically going second, right? An Raptor pass is definitely not the greatest thing, but we got a Lightning Storm, we got a Dark Ruler no more. He's got a Masquerade over here, and he's got a face down. So right now we got Lost World, so paying 600 over here. This card makes you pay some life points to do stuff. So he's going to say no to that because, yeah, sometimes this could start adding up, especially when a combo and summon like 50 cards in one turn, which this dinosaur deck can do. Sometimes you're just missing one piece, but it's a very consistent deck if you guys have played dinos. However, I do want to mention, just as a heads up, because you do play the one vanilla in here, or if you want to play multiple, there's multiple ways to play the deck, but I think one is enough. You don't really need to recycle and get out multiple Frostosauruses. You don't really want to draw that guy. He's kind of a brick. But Ketotera coming out once again, adding the ability to go for that polymerization so you can make your honed source. Now this is important. It says during the main phase 1 if the turn player conducts their third summon of a monster here. So in theory they could change, but if they're going to the main phase 2 they're not going to be able to go to their battle phase. But yes, this card is very, very, very good. So we'll go ahead and see what actually happens over here. So he's going to go for Scrap Chimera, bring out Scrap Raptor, go for Wyvern, and then Wyvern has that awesome ability if he wants to actually use it as well. Go Terra, once again getting that poly, making it the next card over here. Now what's interesting with this is also a level 6. So even though you can only get the effect of it, what is it? This card can attack. Okay, so once per turn you get that effect, but if it's fusion summon you get to place a field spell from your deck or graveyard. So these are level 6 monsters, so it lets you go into Solda. So we already have Raz over here, but Solda is actually a pretty good card as well. It makes it so it cannot be destroyed by card effects while it has material, and when your opponent special summons a monster, you detach one material to destroy that monster or monster. So if they go pen 5, you can get rid of all 5 with Solda. So your whole goal is basically to have disruptions to make it so your opponent cannot get rid of Summon Breaker, and you really only need to stop maybe 2 times, because again on the 3rd time it just becomes the end phase and it kind of locks them out. So that's kind of like the way that it's played, since we have the Dark Ruler. Unfortunately, no battle damage here. So he's going to go ahead and summon this card. Soul is going to go ahead and say no to that. So this one does actually destroy the monster. It doesn't negate, though, just as a heads up. It just detaches one to destroy that monster. He goes ahead and negates everything, goes for the Druid Storm, and then we're going to see Lightning Storm added, but it doesn't really matter at this point. He goes Scrap Wyvern, and just go ahead and run over it, and he's going to go for that to pop this, but it doesn't really matter. He's got enough damage. The dinosaurs already have pretty good attack anyways, and that's just the nature of dinos. If you guys have seen dinos, yeah, they are pretty easy at making it GG when it comes to, like, just when there's no monsters left on the field. Okay, so now this one over here, we got some of those ancient warriors. At this point, though, it doesn't really matter what the opponent is playing, as you guys will see over here. So Grand Xeno, again, really, really good. And the deck is going to have insane consistency. If you play dinos, they have so much searchability. Not only do you have the brand new card, which just lets you search out this card, which is just a free level 6 monster, and it extends your combos with the Baby Ceratosaurus. And on top of that, with the newer card, you could have a follow-up play if this card gets stopped, because you can just destroy the Baby Ceratosaurus and then go for whatever combo that you wanted to go into. But right now, yeah, Baby Ceratosaurus is just so overpowered because it's not a once per turn, and that's what really makes it super good. But you can see, even though it's Spaghetti's turn right here, big shout outs to Spaghetti, by the way, for this, and I'll give you guys his deck profile in a moment here. But yeah, this card, you saw him summon multiple times, it's fine. It's just when your opponent's main phase 1 goes ahead and starts, is he going to be able to summon anything? He can't really play. He needed to use Evenly Match to even get rid of anything, but it's not going to be happening because Raz can just go ahead and negate that. And it's a little bit better than, in a lot of circumstances, it's better than having the Lagia. Dolka is another really good card, but again, this is level 6. I'm wondering if there's any other good combos to make additional cards that are actual synchro monsters. There is one newer card, which I'll go ahead and briefly touch up upon. But yeah, this Dino deck, what was it actually called? I forgot what it was called. Let's just go ahead and do this. I love the feature on YuGiOh Pro just to be able to do this, and you could just copy anyone's deck super easy. So all I gotta do is, oh gosh, there's so many. There we go. Spaghetti's Rolls build over here. So you gotta play the one vanilla. It is kind of like the card that you do need to play. But as far as the newer cards go, I'm going to mouse over the deck profile really quick just so all of you guys can have it. I actually like playing multiple copies of Petite. It is kind of an option if you do want to play it. You can see there's multiple copies of Lost World. That is another fantastic card because it basically makes all of your plays safe as long as you can get off your first summon. And because of the way the deck works, you can open up with Ground Xeno versus going for normal summon Aviraptor, because you can go for this, then destroy. It's a little bit harder to get rid of Babysaurus's effect considering it's in the graveyard, but this might be more important sometimes than your Aviraptor, like, because if this card gets banished, you can't recycle and just keep on looping and destroying the poor little baby again and again, because yeah, it's not a once per turn, and I think that because it's not a once per turn, that could be really good. Now, there is one other newer card. It is another water dinosaur. I guess they wanted us to maybe make this, but it's kind of awkward. It does require you to go for Frost plus the Meteors. I think Raz is better most circumstances, which is what you saw, but I'm going to briefly touch up upon this card. So this is Transcend Drake Glaciosaurus. So it requires a tuner and a non-tuner. It can't be destroyed in battle. Your opponent can't target your dinosaur monsters, special summon from the graveyard with effects, but a lot of times they're just special summon from the hand. But like you can bring back Baby Cerosaurus, like, and it's immune. Like that's really not that great. Also, it can't be destroyed but with your opponent's card effects. If it said special summon from the extract, then this card would actually be pretty decent. And then if this card is destroyed, you shuffle one normal monster from your graveyard into the deck, then you can special summon this card. So technically, yeah, you might be able to go for this card in extreme circumstances if they have the exact same amount of attack, right? If they have a 3600 and then you can crash into it, because remember, it can't be destroyed by battle. In the off chance that they somehow negate this card's effect up on the field, maybe, because if it's destroyed, then you get to shuffle one, and then you get to bring back this card, and then you'd have its effect again. Maybe that's the option. I just don't really see too much of a point in this, again, over the other cards. Like, making Solda or Raz is probably in your best interest, although there are other combos. Ultimate Token, Crystal Wing can be another great option as well, but again, because this has a double negate, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards don't exactly allow you to have like a double negates, except for like Dolka. Dolka's like one of the really like good old Yu-Gi-Oh cards that does fit really well into this deck as well. Anyways, that's gonna go wrap it up for the video. Thanks again, Spaghetti Rolls, for this deck profile. You made the deck actually look really, really good, and I'm excited to maybe mess around with some dinos again, because it's been one of my favorite decks, and this new support is actually looking pretty good with the Meteors. We still need to try the Transcend Drake variant, so we'll get some gameplay of that. But again, shout out to Spaghetti Roll for his gameplay as well as build. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here and you want to see more, subscribe to the bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. I'm signing out. Peace.